Secrets whispered on the digital waves. See the living history on the screen. Old melodies igniting the spark. Transported photos full of stories.
Charles Manson's relationship with the Beatles is one of the darkest and most bizarre chapters in the history of music and crime. Manson, the infamous leader of a cult known as the Family, believed that the Beatles' 1968 album, known as the White Album, contained coded messages that prophesied an apocalyptic race war he called Helter Skelter. Here are the details of this disturbing relationship. The twisted interpretation of the White Album. Manson listened to the White Album repeatedly and developed a complex and delusional interpretation of its lyrics. He believed that the songs were not just songs, but rather prophecies directed at him and his family. He viewed the band as the four horsemen of the apocalypse and himself as the fifth. Manson believed that the Helter Skelter race war would be sparked by racial tensions and that his family would hide in the desert during the conflict. After the war, they would emerge as the rulers of the new world. Specific songs and their messages in Manson's mind. Helter Skelter. Manson interpreted this song, ironically written by Paul McCartney about a fairground slide, as a direct call for race war. He believed the lyrics described the impending violence and chaos. Piggies. Manson saw this George Harrison song as a reference to the white bourgeoisie who would be overthrown in the race war. The word pig became a term used by the Family to refer to their victims. Blackbird. Manson believed this song was about the awakening of black people and their eventual revolt against white people. Blackbird. Manson believed this song was about the awakening of black people and their eventual revolt against white people. Revolution 9. This experimental track, with its chaotic sonic collage, was seen by Manson as the soundtrack to the revolution he envisioned. The tragic consequences. The tragic consequences. Manson's belief in Helter Skelter and the messages he found in the Beatles' music was a crucial factor in the motivation for the murders committed by members of his family in August 1969. The murders of Sharon Tate and her guests, and of Leno and Rosemary LaBianca, were seen by Manson as acts designed to start this race war, shocking white society and inciting blacks to violence. At some of the crime scenes, members of the Family wrote phrases such as pig in reference to the song Piggies in the victim's blood, reinforcing the influence of Manson's interpretation of the Beatles' music. The reality of the relationship. It is crucial to emphasize that the Beatles had no connection to or knowledge of Charles Manson's beliefs. Manson's interpretations were purely delusional and did not reflect the composer's intentions or the actual meaning of the songs. The Beatles were horrified to learn that their songs had been associated with such brutal acts of violence. John Lennon, in particular, expressed his disgust and described Manson as a lunatic. In short, Charles Manson's relationship with the Beatles was a tragic and dangerous distortion of art. Manson, consumed by his own psychosis, projected his apocalyptic beliefs onto the lyrics of the White Album, using them as a justification for unspeakable acts of violence. The story serves as a grim reminder of how fanatical and delusional interpretation can lead to devastating consequences. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel.